Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today is the beginning of Best of 3 weeks, so this is where we're going to be doing our weekly series today, and this week is going to be a little bit different because I actually don't have a brand new deck that I have constructed myself. In fact, I'm actually going to be playing a net deck this week, which is not as bad as it sounds. We're going to be playing an Ali Eldrazi list, which is 5 color lands, so I will leave a link to his Twitch channel in the description below to give him full credit for this wonderful little list. Go check out his channel. He has some wonderful, wonderful deck ideas. If you enjoy my content, you're going to love the stuff that he does anyway. But yep, 5 color lands is built around the card Golosh Tireless Pilgrim, 5 mana for a 3/5. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library, and then you can pay 2 and Wooburg to exile the top 3 cards of your library and play them this turn without paying their mana cost. So when we search up lands, we're actually a Field of the Dead deck, so we most of the time want a Field of the Dead search up. When you have 7 or more lands, this starts generating zombies off of your lands, which makes land drops a good thing and not a bad thing, which is great for a person who floods constantly. And once you're doing that, you want to take as many extra turns as you possibly can. So we're running Nexus of Fate in here. Take an extra turn after this one, instant speed, 7 mana, everybody knows it, everybody hates it, but there we go. You can also reveal it off of the Wooburg and 2 activated ability there, so once Golosh is in play, then you can use it to take free turns, essentially, exiling the cards off the top that you might not necessarily want at the late game. So the stuff that you can't cast, the board wipes, the Gift of Paradises, if we're doing them on the end step anyway, then we're going to lose them, but if we do it on our turn, then we maybe get to do a little bit of cost reduction, you know. But we also have Wilderness Reclamation in here as well for the Nexus of Fate shenanigans, as well as Search for Iscanter to search it all up. Other than that, though, we're ramping with Gift of Paradise and Risen Reef, and working with Circuitous Route as well. Surprisingly, there aren't any gates in the mana base. I guess it really doesn't need them. I've played it a fair bit, and I'm undefeated with this list so far, so honestly, it probably doesn't need the gates, but I don't know. Maybe fixing up a Simic Guildgate or maybe a red or white land might be quite nice, but honestly, as I mentioned, I've not really had too many troubles with the mana base at all. The Scry lands are very nice, the Shock lands are very nice, and obviously check lands work. We have an Archer of Araska to draw us cards. It's all pretty sweet, and we do some fun stuff. Board wipes, 3 Cleansing Novas, 1 Star of Extinction, lots of fun, and Ritual of Sut for the early game. It's pretty sweet. Other than that, though, let's move on to the sideboard, shall we? We got 3 Veil of Summers for the discard and control decks. So if our opponent plays blue or black, we want to bring this one in. So we get to give ourselves hexproof as well as our permanents as well. So in response to removal, we can play Veil of Summer, drawing a card and giving hexproof to whatever's targeting and whiffing. Thought Erasure on turn 2 is also basically a very good deal for us. They try to take our card, we Veil of Summer, we redraw, and they lose a card, so we end up coming out on top of that one. Devout Decree to hit red or black creatures or planeswalkers speaks for itself, I guess. We're going to see a lot of uses of Devout Decree in this week's weekly series, so stay tuned for that. Legion's End hits all of the early game stuff. Against mono red, you get the Steamkins and basically everything, and if they have those cards in hand, then it's also a discard spell, but it also reveals their hand and allows you to play a little bit around what you know is in their hand from that point forward. Noxious Grasp, green or white creatures, we can take down Tamios, Teferis. I'm presuming Teferis are basically what this is here for. There's a lot of stuff here. Cry of the Carnarium for aggro, Pulse of the Marasa for aggro as well. Maybe for a little bit of land hate, you could bring it in for that, but that's not really a thing these days. Shifting Terratops against the blue decks, can't be countered and has protection from blue, so it really shuts down Teferi decks quite nicely. You can pay a green to give it reach, trample, or haste as well, so a 5/4 with haste for 5 mana is pretty sweet, especially when it can't be countered and can take down pretty much anything. Casualties of War seems a little bit like a catch-all, to be honest. 2 double black, double green, you can kill an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker, whatever you need. If your opponent's running multiples of those things, then I recommend bringing it in. If you're only taking care of creatures, though, I really wouldn't bother. You could bring in something like Zakama, which is an alternative win con. 6 red, green, and white for a 9/9 with Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. When it enters the battlefield, you untap all the lands, so we've got lots of ramp in here, pretty good. And then you can use all that mana to activate abilities, like the red one, which deals 3 damage to a creature. You can use this kind of as a board wipe. The green, killing artifacts or enchantments, pretty good at getting rid of Ixalan's Bindings and Prison Realms and whatnot. And the white to gain 3 life as well against the aggro decks. If we survive 2 Zakama, we're probably going to win. So that's essentially the deck, guys. Without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. But before we do that, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. It lets me know what kind of stuff you're interested in seeing, and then I can bring it back if it is very much appreciated. So, yeah, let's get into the games, and I'll see you there. Alrighty then, let's be on the play. And lots of lands, but Gift of Paradise, Nexus of Fate, and all unique lands as well with the Field of the Dead. I'm going to keep this one. Could be a bit slow, but I doubt that. Let's go Temple of Silence and bottom the land. That's why we scry on turn 1 when we can. So that we don't flood. Another Nexus. Well, against the Boros deck, they're not likely to have an encounter, so if we can get to Nexus, we probably just win. Let's go with... if I do want to play... I can just do Field of the Dead here. I can do Forest then and stick the Gift of Paradise on it. And then these two are tapped or untapped as I see fit. Alright, looks like Boros Feather. So, beat them before. We'll beat them again. Especially if we can get to Nexus as quickly as we can. We're on 5 mana this turn, so... Ooh, Omnath. Not too relevant, but... it is a thing, I guess. Let's go Woodland Cemetery and... shove the gift on that one, I guess. Gain another 3 life, up to 22. And maybe my opponent starts firing cantrips off on the Legionnaire. Decides not to. Okay. I guess they want to be a little bit more greedy with their bad hand. Oh, they're playing Naya Feather. Gotcha. Alright, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're just going to shock, take an extra turn. We're going to do an upkeep stop so I can upkeep my Nexus of Fate, because if I draw it, there's a greater chance of doing that, and then I can just reuse it on my draw step. So reuse it now, take an extra turn, and then if I draw it, I can use it next turn, that kind of thing. But we didn't get it. We're just taking extra turns, as you do. Circuitous Route. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I wouldn't have 8 or more lands, so that wouldn't really work for me. I guess I'll just make them scoop. Do this. They need God's Willing, otherwise they're done. Alright, they have God's Willing. Sure. It's better than trying to get them to do Indestructibility, which I think they run more copies of that particular effect than they do God's Willing. This is a great card. So glad it exists. Not entirely sure if I'm being sarcastic about that, but I'm gonna Nova the crap out of them. Goodbye, threats. And Temple, let's see if we can get a good card. Sure, more Nexus, never a bad thing. Omnath seems so weird in this list, I won't lie. Really does. Yeah, let's just take an extra turn. Draw Golosh. That's exactly what I wanted to see. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Golosh needs to go get a unique land that's not Field of the Dead. I guess I could go get a Scry land. Let's do Temple of Malady. Gets me a Zomb and gets me a Scry. So we can prove our draw. And we definitely don't want the island. I can pull it with Circuitous Route if we really want to. And now we got the Omnath into Circuitous Route, draw 2 cards, pump up Omnath by 2. If they tap down the Paradise Druid, then we've got the kill there. which is kind of nice. Otherwise, I'll just go for the face. Alright, well, face time it is. Let me tap down my colourless. I'll trust the game to tap properly for me from there. I'm going to hit you in the face. Omnath, punch! That was rude. That was quite rude. Not gonna lie. Alright, well. I guess I missed my sequencing there, because now I'm scrying. I guess I was scrying to the bottom, so it doesn't actually matter, but... yeah, if I liked the card on top, we would have had problems. Let's just do that and that. Doesn't actually matter what I pick now, I guess. I have the activation on Golosh quite easily, and any land will trigger the Field of the Dead. It's Feather, but you're going to lose. Because now we just start exiling top 3 cards. If we hit Nexus, we take an extra turn and hit them again. If we top deck Nexus, good stuff. If we get lands, we get more Zombs. Yeah, it's just really, it really doesn't matter at all. It's way too late for this to be doing a thing. Another Golosh. I think we'll just go with the activation. Left my colourless untapped, sure. So we get a free extra turn with Nexus. And this is my point exactly. Let's go with Archer Veraska, because I can use that to draw. Get a zombie. Draw a card. More lands for next turn. They can trade off a zombie, but they can't trade off my Golos. Yeah, so... a lot of damage, and we have lethal. Swing again. Slow start for my opponent. We were able to punish it quite easily. Let's see if we can do it again. Alright, so, against Feather, we can bring in Devout Decrees. It hits a lot of their stuff. 10th Street Legionnaire, Feather, of course, and the Gruul Spellbreaker. Could bring in the Pulsar Marassa for the life gain. That might be relevant. Legion's End also might be relevant. I can hit a lot of little creatures. If they're running Dreadhorde Arcanist, that's another option for them. But hitting Legionnaire is quite nice. It just doesn't hit Feather or Spellbreaker, so this might not be the card to include, honestly. Other than that, Casualty seems weak. I'm not really sure when you bring in Zakama. I'm not sure if this is just Ali's meme deck, kind of like my version of Squee. You know, most people just ask me to put Squee in literally everything. Kind of feel like Zakama might be the same thing, but I guess he's Artifact and Enchantment Destruction. A little bit of board wipe, a little bit of life gain. There's a lot to unpack with this card, I guess. But anyway, let's figure out what we're doing as far as cuts are concerned. I think we want to cut down the Thematic Compass. We're just going to try and remove things. Ritual of Soot seems pretty great. Again, Omnath is just a weird one. I'm not entirely sure on its exact purpose. It's great in the late game, which is probably why it's only a one-off, but it seems so hard to actually hit a good amount with this. But it might just be better than a Nexus of Fate. I like all the board wipes. I like my Contempts. I think I'll just go down a Nexus. Thing with Nexus is, most people, if they just see you cast one Nexus of Fate, they assume the game is over and just leave, so... the difference between 4 and 3 makes a difference if they're not going to scoop, but my opponent seems like the type to just scoop as soon as they see it. Ritual of Soot, doubled, and a Yarok. Could be okay, we got the double black already, we just need an extra land which the Temple can work on. Overgrown 2 makes the Harbour untapped. I like this hand. Just needs to find one more land and, well, there it is. Alright, Temple, don't show me any more lands. I don't need them. Ideally, I just want Gift of Paradise on 3, or maybe Risen Reef, that kind of thing. Well, they show me more lands. Ask, and you shall be ignored. Let's just go with the Temple of Epiphany. Yeah, bottom more lands. It is running like 28 in this list, so it's to be expected that we scry a lot of lands to the bottom. Cinder Vines. Sure. Not sure how much I care about that. It's a thing, I guess, but is it a good thing? Overgrown Tomb tapped. I guess the extra 1 point's just going to make up the value, and Wilderness Reclamation's obviously not something I want blown up. I guess it's a good card. Alright. Where do we go from here? If we went with a board wipe and they had the indestructible 1 white mana card, that would be annoying, but probably not the end of the world. Next turn I'm going to be using Yarok, I think. So do I want to be on 7 mana next turn? Does it make a difference? I think I'll just Ritual and hopefully prevent a little bit of damage. See if they've got the indestructible. They don't, or they don't care. One or the other. So it costs us 1 life to stop hemorrhaging 3 life a turn. There's Feather. Yeah, they might want to save the indestructible for Feather here instead. Makes a little bit of sense to me. Alright, well, let's do... See, the problem is if they've got Reckless Rage, it means they've got a target to kill Risen Reef. And then this Yarok doesn't come down doing too much. Because I can do 3 triggers. If I go Risen Reef, Yarok, that's 3. If I go Yarok, it's 0 and then 2. That's kind of the problem. Let's go Woodland Cemetery. I kind of want to kill this. Kind of want to kill it. I could actually hit... No, if I'd have played the Plains, I could have hit Devout Decree. I think I'm just going to go for the Ritual of stuff. Take another 1, see if they got the Indestructible. They didn't have it last time, so... Yeah, just going to assume they don't have it again. Season of Growth. That's kind of a whiff of a draw. So is the land. See what the final card is. Another Feather, okay. And 2 Scries. So we know if they're going to get Reckless Rage, it's going to be off the top. They might be bottoming them because they don't really know how many creatures we run. There's a lot of, like, just Field of the Dead shenanigans. That's a really good draw. It's double triggers off Yarok. Alright, well, I'm going to go with the my opponent doesn't draw a good card off the top plan. I'm going to go Risen Reef, see if we hit a land. Nexus. That's a good one. That is a good one. I will have to find like a Cleansing Nova to blow up all of their enchantments. That's probably why I should bring in Zakama. I'll probably side him in if we end up losing here. I feel like I won't necessarily though. Gonna take the damage because now I could do Yarok, double trigger Risen Reef. I think I want to do that and take extra damage here. Got to be very careful with it, but I think this is just better because this is a 3/5 lifelink, so it blocks the Spellbreaker very nicely. That's a very good draw. And land into the field, also quite nice. And now I have like 6 points to trade with the Omnath. Double triggers. So I can definitely take care of Feather if they draw really badly like that. They can hit me for 3 in the air. Yeah, this is looking real nice. And there's Nova as well. So let's take the opportunity now to hit the Feather. So, I mean, I could hit Spellbreaker, but honestly, I should probably hit Feather, right? Don't think there's much reason not to. Vraska's Contempt's very nice. Circuitous Route is a card. Risen Reef. 4 triggers. Yeah, Temple, double Scry. Also do some card drawing. Let's pump up Yarok, because I want the life gain. Temple, Nova's a bit late now, don't need it. Golos, yeah, sure, I'll draw that. Then a land, get some more scrying done. Again, pump up the Yarok to gain the life. And we've done it, alright. We were a little bit of risk of decking ourselves, but I think the game was very much over. We were gaining way too much life for that Cinder Vines to ever matter, so we could still do infinite Nexus with, you know, an ever-growing, what was it, 7 life gain a turn kind of thing. We're only taking 1 from Nexus looping. Golos would exile the top few cards of our deck, also get back Field of the Dead as well, start generating zombies. So, yeah, pretty good stuff. Alright, well. It was a bit of a short one. I guess we'll strip this one onto another shorter video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for some more content in the future. I'll be back with another game, so stay tuned. Okay, we're in, and we got 2 temples. We need an untapped land for this hand, but we're on the draw. 2 scries to find it, and lots of ramp. I'm going to take this one. This seems pretty great, not gonna lie. So, opponent's gone down to 6, and he's playing some sort of flyers list. I don't claim to understand what my opponent's playing. Do I want this land? I've already got the lands to actually play Gift of Paradise, which already leads into half of this stuff. I think I'll just bottom and see if I can find some action. I guess there's a fair few bad draws we can get, but we are playing Spirit Fairies, I guess. Yeah, sure. Let's bottom that land. So next turn we go Swamp into Gift of Paradise. We got 4 mana from there. Or we play a Risen Reef. Actually, we can't play a Risen Reef. We don't have the right colours, but the gift is the gift that keeps on giving, and hopefully we get to play a Risen Reef and have some fun. Alright. Land, please. Omnath. Omnath just hits a fairy miscreant, so not quite what I had in mind. I guess we'll go Risen Reef. Yeah, I think Risen Reef's basically the best line for us. I do need another land, so I could do the Circuitous route, which gets us guaranteed mana. I could also just Gift of Paradise for a similar thing. I think I'll thin the deck a bit, grab some basics. There's no gates in here, right? No. Alright, what do I need? I need a white source, and I guess a red source, because both of our board wipes are double red and double white. We have the Gift of Paradise to fix mana like that anyway, so it's not really a big deal. Please play one more 1 mana spell. Okay, we're down to 6. And do we have Spell Pierce protection? We don't. Ouch. Well, this could be rough. If they've got it, we lose. If they don't, they lose. Okay, now we can do Risen Reef, hopefully, into Omnath. That'd be nice. Otherwise, it's Risen Reef into Gift of Paradise, go up to 9. Well, I was hoping for something a little bit bigger. Let's just take the chance to redraw. While we've got Nexus, we might as well cast them like that. Let's do Risen Reef. See what's on top. It is a land, Overgrown Tomb. Tapped. And could do some more thinning, I guess. Or I could go with the Gift of Paradise. I guess maybe I want to have the guaranteed life gain now, just in case they are running counter magic. I don't want them countering a gift and then tempoing me out with more flyers. Fairy Time Raveler. Alright. Free life. If they minus Omnath, I'll get him. If you bounce my Risen Reef, I'll just get so much value. I appreciate that. And an attack. Alright, let's do Risen Reef first, because if we reveal Field of the Dead off the top, then this breeding pool is active, I believe. Yeah, we get a temple. Alright, we're not doing any searching, so bottom that. Now we could do searching if we wanted to. Let's play Omnath. Omnath fights to Fairy.
You just let me know if you're up for round 2.
Give him a little snatch. Ooh, Thematic Compass. Well, might as well play that. It's gonna flip for us, and then we go tap lands and stick a counter on Risen Reef, I guess. Draw a card. I always forget that Omnath has draw a card written on it. It does so much, but draw a card is not one of the things you think about. Neither is Maze of Ith from my opponent. Get Maze of Ith. Okay. So let's Wilderness Reclamation. So basically everything we do is free. I guess we thin the deck. Play a Swamp. Let's yeah, pump Risen Reef a little bit more, I guess. Circuitous Route. Actually, it doesn't matter how we tap our stuff because it's all untapping anyway. Counter please, draw. Counter please, draw. Risen Reef. Trigger. Yeah, I'll have a land, please. Well, we need to get you a little bit bigger. Nexus of Fate on top looks great. And, well, if we swing with this Risen Reef, which I think we might as well, then maybe we've got some good stuff going for us. And now we have the Vraska's Contempt. I should have probably put an end step stop, because now I have potential counter spells to worry about. I'm going to get rid of the Dungeon Geist, because it untaps my Omnath. Yeah, they've had enough. Then we take an extra turn, and we swing twice, and do some good stuff. Alright, so we're up against Blue-White Spirit Fairy Flyers. Well, Noxious Grasp hits white spells. Doesn't hit any of the blue stuff. We saw way more blue than we did white, so this is basically just going to hit Empyrean Eagle, and I don't think we really want that. Cry of the Carnarium also seemed a bit weak. I guess we'll take some Shifting Ceratopses, because Counter Magic is potentially a thing. Other than that, though, I guess our main deck is pretty much set up to beat this list. Legion's End kind of has some use. We can take care of Siren Storm Tamer and Spectral Sailor. That's about it, though. I'm going to go down the Thematic Compass. It's okay. I don't think it's great, though. And one more card to cut. I guess it's just Nexus of Fate. Trim down. Only need one to go off before our opponent thinks we've got an infinite combo and scoops anyway, so just having one should be fine. Yeah, let's run it like that. Expect a lot more counter magic, but there's not too much we can do about that. Except for running uncounterable Ceratopses. Yes, let's take this hand. 2 lands with a Gift of Paradise. Any land off the top is wonderful. And land we did receive. Do I want this? That's the question. I guess I don't really need it. Because I'm going to go 3rd land into Gift, and then I'll have the double black and Ritual Mana and things like that. Anyway, so, yeah. Just take that to the bottom. Opponent passes, so they've got some end step stuff that they can do. Spectral Sailors and whatnot, but my guess is they're holding up counter magic. Yeah, there's a Sailor. And Supreme Phantom. Okay. Well, where do we want to go from here? I think we'll go Swamp and Gift of Paradise on the Swamp. Gain 3, undo the damage they've done, and ramp up. We always have this Wilderness Reclamation to bait. It's a great bait spell, honestly, because it has its uses in the deck, but it's not crucial. Well, now you've just made this easy on me. Goodbye. Easy. Scryland. Bottom of the Scryland. Working our way up to the Nexus. Yeah, it's really just a case of how quickly can we get to Nexus of Fate. I think I'll just go with the Wilderness Wreck. I mean, I could just fire off some Gift of Paradises or Circuitous Roots as well. Both lead me to Nexus of Fate in the end, but yeah, what we have here is a case of our opponent with no blue mana. So I am left to do exactly what I feel like doing at any given time, which in this case is Wreck Nexus. Yep. Told ya. Just the one is sufficient. So, you know, it is what it is. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed that one. It was a bit of a short video, but it was fun nonetheless. I may end up attaching this one onto another video if this is indeed as short as I think it is. But hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Lets me know what kind of things that you're interested in. And yeah, without further ado, I'm going to end off the episode here. Take care, guys.